Welcome to Beyond Buzz. International diplomacy is usually quiet, but on October 25, 2025, the Philippines broke the silence. Manila announced its bid for a non-permanent seat on the UN Security Council for 2027-2028, right after a fiery speech challenging China's actions in the South China Sea. This wasn't routine, it was a bold pivot in Philippine foreign policy. For years, the Philippines balanced its U.S. alliance with China's growing power. Now, it's taking a proactive stance, willing to confront major powers to defend its interests and international law. The stakes are high. This move could elevate the Philippines or isolate it. The timing is crucial, as tensions in the Indo-Pacific and the South China Sea escalate. China's expansive claims and militarization have alarmed neighbors, while the U.S. and allies push back. By seeking a Security Council seat, Manila demands its voice be heard in shaping regional rules. For Filipinos, this is both a source of pride and anxiety. A stand for sovereignty, but with real risks. A confrontational approach to China could have economic and security consequences. Winning a Security Council seat requires a masterful diplomatic campaign. The Philippines has thrown down the gauntlet. Now it must prove it has the skill and resolve to see this gambit through. The world is watching to see if Manila can turn this bold move into lasting influence. The Philippines is no longer content to be a bystander. It's stepping onto the world stage, ready to shape its own destiny. The turning point was a speech at the UN General Assembly. The Philippine representative didn't mince words, condemning China's actions in the West Philippine Sea. The speech described water cannon attacks on Filipino boats, shadowing of naval patrols, and environmental destruction from island building. Each point was delivered with conviction, painting the Philippines as a small nation standing up to a giant. The representative invoked the 2016 Arbitral Tribunal ruling, which invalidated China's sweeping claims. Manila accused Beijing of violating international law and declared, "Our patience is not infinite." The speech was a direct appeal to the conscience of the international community. It framed the dispute as a test of the UN Charter and a call to defend a rules-based order. This marked a clear break from previous years' more accommodating tone. The Philippines signaled it would no longer downplay maritime disputes for economic gain. The world was put on notice. Manila was entering a new era of foreign policy. The speech was a rallying cry for nations that believe in law over might. It drew a line in the sand. No more silence in the face of aggression. The Philippines was ready to speak truth to power, no matter the risks. The address electrified the hall and set the stage for Manila's Security Council bid. It was a moment of courage and conviction. The Philippines had found its voice. The world was listening. This wasn't an outburst, it was a calculated act of defiance. The speech sent a clear message to China. The Philippines will no longer be passive. By airing grievances at the UN, Manila internationalized the dispute, raising the diplomatic cost for Beijing. The United States was another key audience. Manila's bold stance showed it's a reliable partner, willing to defend shared principles in the Indo-Pacific. This strengthens the U.S.-Philippine alliance and justifies deeper security cooperation. The speech also rallied middle powers and developing nations, positioning the Philippines as a champion for smaller states. Manila promised to be their voice at the highest levels of global governance. Domestically, the speech unified Filipinos behind a strong nationalist foreign policy. For many, the maritime dispute is about sovereignty and pride. The government's boldness is likely to be popular at home. The message: the Philippines will fight for its territory and resources. This was a multi-layered diplomatic maneuver. It aimed to reshape the strategic landscape at home and abroad. The Philippines is now seen as a leader among nations facing great power pressure. The world is watching how far Manila will go. China's response was swift and harsh. Beijing accused the Philippines of hyping up the maritime issue and serving U.S. interests. China reiterated its claims over the South China Sea, dismissing the 2016 ruling as void. State media painted Manila as ungrateful, highlighting Chinese aid and investment. The message: the Philippines was biting the hand that feeds it. China hinted at economic retaliation, slowing investments, restricting imports, or discouraging tourism. These are familiar tools Beijing uses to pressure dissenting neighbors. Manila expected this backlash. It was part of the calculation. China's aggressive response only validated the Philippines' argument. The world saw firsthand the pressure smaller nations face. The more China pushes back, the more it proves Manila's point. This dynamic could actually help the Philippines' Security Council campaign. The regional power struggle is now on full display. Washington welcomed Manila's assertiveness. The U.S. has long sought partners to counter China's influence in the Indo-Pacific. The Philippines' bold stance aligns perfectly with American strategy. The U.S. State Department quickly voiced support, reaffirming the Mutual Defense Treaty. This security backstop gives Manila confidence to pursue its diplomatic strategy. Expect deeper U.S.-Philippine military cooperation, more joint exercises, and intelligence sharing. The Philippines' location is vital. at the crossroads of major sea lanes and near Taiwan. A committed Manila strengthens America's regional posture. But Washington must avoid appearing as the puppet master. China already frames the Philippines as a U.S. pawn. The U.S. must let Manila lead, emphasizing this is a Philippine initiative. The best support Washington can offer is rallying international backing for Manila's Security Council bid. The goal: build a broad consensus for a rules-based order, with the Philippines as a key advocate. This partnership is about shared interests, not just alliances. The Philippines' boldness gives the U.S. a credible regional partner. Together, they can shape the Indo-Pacific's future. The world is watching their next move. The Philippines' move puts ASEAN in a tough spot. The bloc prefers consensus and quiet diplomacy, but Manila's confrontational strategy disrupts this balance. Some members, like Vietnam, quietly support the Philippines, having faced Chinese coercion themselves. Others, especially those close to China, see Manila's actions as provocative and destabilizing. This division threatens ASEAN unity and complicates efforts to finalize a South China Sea Code of conduct. The Philippines' boldness exposes ASEAN's limitations in protecting member interests. If Manila succeeds, it could inspire others to pursue independent foreign policies, risking further fragmentation. The region faces a fundamental question: can consensus survive great power competition? The Philippines' gambit is a stress test for ASEAN's future. The bloc's effectiveness is on the line. Manila's actions may reshape the regional order. The stakes go beyond the Philippines' own security. The entire architecture of Southeast Asia is being challenged. Winning a UN Security Council seat is a global campaign. The Philippines needs support from 2/3 of the General Assembly, about 129 countries. This means relentless diplomacy, lobbying, and coalition building. Manila's platform championing international law and the rights of smaller states. Its 2016 arbitral victory is the campaign's centerpiece. The message resonates with nations vulnerable to great power pressure. But China will work hard to block Manila, using its economic and diplomatic clout. Beijing will label the Philippines a troublemaker and U.S. proxy. Philippine diplomats must counter this narrative at every turn. Success depends on skillful diplomacy and support from allies like the U.S., Japan, and Australia. The EU's stance will also be crucial. If Manila can build a broad coalition, it has a real shot. The campaign will test the Philippines' resolve and resources. Victory would be a historic validation of its bold new strategy. Win or lose, the Philippines' Security Council bid has already changed its foreign policy. Manila has moved from the sidelines to the center of global debate. If successful, a council seat would give the Philippines a platform to shape international security and maritime law. Even if it fails, the campaign has strengthened its diplomacy and forged new alliances. Standing up to a major power has earned Manila global respect. The South China Sea issue is now firmly on the world's agenda. This new chapter demands sustained commitment, military investment, economic reforms, and national unity. The Philippines has chosen to shape its destiny, not be shaped by others. The world is watching what this determined nation will do next. The journey is just beginning. Manila's boldness could inspire others. The stakes are high, but so are the rewards. The Philippines has stepped into history's spotlight.